So anyway, after the, I don't know if you've seen the numbers on the last podcast, 128,000 downloads.
Oh, I thought it was 128 million. I guess
we're not that popular. Yeah, we get a lot of feedback, a lot of hate mail. A lot of people aren't liking it.
Yeah, mostly it seems like mostly not liking it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the majority. I can't believe so many people downloaded it just to hate it. But,
yeah, it's like, what is that thing about people saying like car crashes, like you can't look away sort of situation? So yeah. I mean,
so you
gotta
just
find your
have
niche.
to download it so you can watch it.
Yeah, we found our niche. People who hate us.
Yeah. Anyway, no. It if anyone ends up listening to this, then they'll probably have to know. First one, by the time we're recording this, the first one hasn't even been uploaded yet. But we're just chugging along. I'm still putting my terror cell together.
Sure.
I've got a loose-knit community of like-minded individuals. We're spreading some literature, and these guys kind of scare me, but you can't choose your family. So
big tent here.
It's a big tent, definitely with some solar panels on the tent out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, you go in the middle of the woods to beat a kid in Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. So no, back to then. How is the weather over there? I was honestly wondering today.
It's phenomenal. I couldn't wait to tell you, actually. I went down to the river today with a couple friends, came over, and we were down there a lot of the day. I had to drive to go have a voice lesson over in Woodinville, and I go through Duval to get there, and there is a spectacular view of Mount Rainier. It's like, it's the same. Actually, this last time we talked, I was going that direction. Also, I had that same view of like Mount Baker and Mount Rainier, I think. So it was like, 80 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, wonderful Pacific Northwest summer day. 10 out of 10, no notes.
No, except for in your voice lesson.
Actually, my voice lesson didn't go very well because my voice is all tired from that festival I went to, from going like, woo! Like so much, my voice is like all raspy and stuff, so... Anyways.
Going like what?
Woo! But way louder. Way louder.
For whoever's ears are bleeding right now, it was a lot worse.
Imagine that. Yeah, during a funk performance by this really funkin' cool band. Saw a lot of cool bands. I thought about you a lot the whole weekend. Yeah.
Well, you missed out because I just had a jam session the other night. That was 2 nights ago. Yeah, Sunday night. Derek came over, and let's just dox him on the show right now. He lives in... Yeah,
his address is...
He lives on... Yeah. No, but
Are you
he
talking
came
about
over
Derek?
and we had a pretty great jam session for being so rusty. It was really fun. I played a lot of drums. I was sweating so hard keeping up with him. It was a lot of fun, and he brought his guitar that he'd been showing me for a little while, and he finally brought it over. I played it. It was fantastic. He really wanted feedback because he built it. He made it by hand.
Wait.
He has this amazing guitar.
He wanted feedback? What guitarist ever wants feedback? Do you get the joke?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't listen to like rock and roll, I guess that makes sense.
Ugh.
Moving along. No.
Come on! There's a joke there.
Come on! Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, he wanted feedback on his guitar, and so I was like, well, let me try it. He's like, no, I'm just going to press the pickups right up to the amp. And I was like, stop! Yeah.
He's like, that's what I want.
All the kids were just yelling. It was like, I was like, well, he's like, I'm getting some great feedback on my guitar. No, it's really cool though, and it's really impressive. It's
That's
yeah,
amazing.
this cool like semi-hollow kind of blues style guitar, put together himself. It's all natural wood
Wow.
styling and all this stuff. It's
That's
really neat,
incredible.
and he wired it all, and it sounds great. Played great. I'm not the best guitarist, but I thought it was really
You're
fun to
not?
play. And yeah, I'm not as good as him. Well, and then we switched off. He's been practicing the drums, and he has a little electronic set at home. So he was playing drums, and I was playing guitar. And then we were kind of joking about it afterwards. It's like, all right, next it'll be let's have a jam session. Derek, you're on piano. I'll play the trumpet. Let's just do instruments we're not good at.
Yeah. Jimmy
But-
Fallon did a segment like that on his show, and it made me laugh a lot because one of them, like, he couldn't make a single sound on it. Like, it was like this huge flute thing, and it was like impossible to make a sound. Like, he couldn't figure it out in the allotted time, and I feel like that would be a fun challenge. If you had access to a
yeah.
bunch of random instruments from all over the world,
Yeah.
as most people
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Let me just try a didgeridoo. Do you know anyone that has a didgeridoo?
Yeah.
Sounds like this. Anyway, yeah, the weather was hot here, so just same report as last week for both of us. It was like 98 degrees today, blazingly sunny and hot, and it's gonna be I think 103 tomorrow. So just summer days. So
Good old summer days. Yeah.
yeah. Nice droughts and wildfires all across the world. Got to listen to NPR this morning, them talking about how in
England?
what was it? Yeah, and I think they're saying in some of the southern European countries where they get more heat, but it's still quite a heat wave. I think they said, what was it? Spain and Portugal. Just this month, over 500 people have died straight up from the heat already. Like, just dying because it's too hot. I was like,
It's crazy.
500
I know. And
people.
It's like, what is this? The Middle Ages? Like, legit. Like, don't we have technology?
Yeah. We don't, but...
Oh.
No, it's like, yeah, don't we have technology to turn this planet around, too? Since we want to be more loose and improvisational and more humorous on the show, I gotta say, I was thinking about my wonderful child and the absolute apocalypse that she's going to inherit. Yeah, I thought it was really funny how everyone's going to die.
Isn't it hilarious?
I like it. Yeah, I find bleakness to be the most humorous thing. I figured we could talk about that.
Bleakness is the soul of wit, after all, is what as the saying goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the bleak, dark tragedy.
That's
also known
that's
as comedy.
Yeah. Now that's a comedy. Yeah, it is pretty sucky to think about. And you know what it all was about? Money. It's like, what a bummer. Like, that's what it would have to be about to ruin our planet. And not even just our destruction of, like, humans, but, like, all these species that have existed for millions of years, like, that all of it was just for money. Which is like,
yeah,
oof, that's pretty anticlimactic there. Not even,
and
it's not altruism.
anticlimactic.
Ooh,
see, it's
There
a
we go.
comedy podcast after all.
comedy podcast.
Because that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's why everyone's laughing. I wish we had a laughing track to do for sure.
I
Boo,
do.
shut the fuck up.
I do.
Like Curtis Connor.
I need to figure that out. Yeah, before we were recording, of course, I had the little sound drop set up, and of course, I have tons of different applause settings and crowd laughter and stuff. We need to get all that worked in. For the dozen people that will end up listening to this, it's really funny. The first version of episode 1, where I got Natalie's audio track and it had a bunch of reverb on it, so
And
It
we have no idea what
sounded
this
like
track is going to sound like, so...
I was supposed to take you out of you were stuck in a well, maybe.
Yeah. That's the story. There's a story behind all these seemingly just bad audio quality standards. It's actually this exciting life that I live.
So it was a really boring podcast, and for some reason they wouldn't talk about the insane things that were happening around them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, actually she was he was doing it in a burning building, and she was stuck in a well. No.
And they're talking about what again? Climate change?
Yeah. She was stuck in a well down under the earth where she had to keep typing a certain code into a computer every 60 minutes or the world would end.
But who wants to hear about
That's
that? Anybody?
I don't hear anyone. So.
Oh, you were going to tell me, I don't want to forget, you were going to tell me about a customer at work. And we were like, save it for the podcast. Don't talk to me.
I forgot who I was telling Derek about it, but and I didn't know how to work it into conversation, but it's funny. So, of course, in my line of work, I deal with lots of different types, right? And so I got a guy needed to store his boat, and had kind of a real southern accent on the phone. That's a whole other subject. Not a southern accent, but a country accent. I think we mentioned it last time, a rural accent.
Because people listen to country music?
Really nice guy. I don't know, because it's white identity nowadays. I don't know, and it's like passed down or something. So, because, I assumed, I'll just say this right off the bat. First, when they showed up, I texted my friend. I was like, oh my God, I'm renting to some straight up swamp people right now. It's the only thing I could think of. Like Duck Dynasty guys in the middle of a swamp or something. Because the guy, they show up, and there's the son. He's like 60 or something. Big, crazy beard, one lazy eye, and just this accent, yelling at his 80-year-old dad as they're trying to back the boat into a storage unit. And first off, he keeps calling him Daddy. He's like, come on, no, turn it the other way, Daddy. No, Daddy, look out.
Hell yeah.
No,
Southern,
back it straight, Daddy. And and talking like that. Until at the point, and he was a nice guy, just very loud and very, I don't know. I'm not going to judge people on such a wide-reaching public platform like this one. We're not, I judge, yeah. Here's
but
the
not
thing.
on something like this with so much influence.
Here's the thing, is why you can't judge. It's already funny, right? So these guys... him just yelling curse words with this thick country accent, and at the point where they're upset over, I'm not going to get into the whole story, he finally gets it in there, then they can't get it off of the hitch, and he's upset with his dad, and it's like they're backwoods enough that standing there, I heard the son call his dad the N-word.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right there. In this, totally natural, two white guys. It's like, oh, you stupid N-word, you forgot this fucking thing. Oh, shit, Daddy, what are you thinking?
Wow.
And I was like, good Lord, this is, I deal with a lot of people, but this is something else. So it was already a funny story in itself. It's like, wow. Oh, I rented a unit to some people that were so backwoods that this white dude calls his 80-year-old white father the N-word.
Yeah, and then, after calling him daddy over and over again.
Yeah, and just all of it just way too natural. But then...
Interesting.
But then later on, actually doing paperwork and talking to him, and it's funny, his dad comes in while the son's out there smoking a cigarette, and one of the first things his dad, he's like, oh, I gotta apologize for my son and his damn potty mouth. I don't know where he gets all worked up, you know. And
His
like
potty
so
mouth.
he already yeah, I was like, hey, you know, I hear all of it in this business. It's all good. Don't worry about offending me. Because in my head I was like, this has just been hilarious from the first second that you guys showed up. But then I don't even know how the conversation goes there, because like we've already said, everything gets political nowadays.
Even the
and
N-word, somehow.
and conversations can really go down one path or another. But this guy, who's so the opposite of woke in every possible way whatsoever, is talking to me and brings up the fact that because they're going to go see family in Portland, and how his brother is now his sister, and how completely and totally accepting he is of it. And he says, good for her, you know. It's tough for me because it was always my brother, so I said I'd call her my brother's sister. And she says that's just fine. She likes it. It's a term of endearment or something. And going on about this, I was like, wow. Like, in my head, I was like, this guy who is completely, like I said, whatever woke is, he's the opposite of that. Is more progressive on trans issues than Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. Like, how is this guy better and more accepting of
Swamp
trans
trash.
people than all of these mainstream people? I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Too.
He was just joking, and he was like, it was just a reaction to however I took what he was saying. I was like, well, that's, you know, whatever, you know, that's great, and whatever their identity is. I forget what I said, and then he's like, oh, are you gay? and I was like,
Close enough.
He's like, oh, not. And he's like, no, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how you're taking it. I was like, why? Are you hitting on me right now? That's what I told him, and he laughed so hard. He's like, I don't know. You're a pretty good looking guy. But
so,
it was like, this guy
so now
was,
you have a date.
yeah, so we're getting married. But either way, it's like,
right now. Yeah.
it's like not only just not judging, I mean, the random assortment of positions that people can take on cultural issues, or how they approach just social interactions or social justice or hierarchies in general. Like, you don't know. Americans, all of us in general, are just this cobbled together mess of that. And just because of one part of his life, that his family member, I mean, he could have been a bigot for sure, and he's not. And,
well, yeah.
I mean, Sophia was there at work with me. She was in the back room, and I even told her, I came in, I was like, all right, the people are coming in to rent right now. You all good? And just keep in mind, they're really loud. and I was talking to her afterwards. We were both listening to Arun Brown together. And,
I know Arun Brown.
Yeah. I know Arun Brown. And Ben Shapiro, who she knows that Ben Shapiro's an idiot because, you know, she's 8 years old, so
because she's not an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, isn't it funny, Sophia, that even that guy that rented today, remember that really loud, crazy guy? She's like, yeah. I was like, even he knows is nicer to gay and trans people than Ben Shapiro is. She's like, wow, yeah. I was like, he is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so weird how in so many different issues we talk about how, like, the will of the majority, or just the way that the American public at large isn't really represented by either side, but especially by the right. It's just a fact. And it's like, in these social issues, that becomes such a huge wedge that it feels like that's all people are talking about. And it's like, but when it really comes down to it, even a lot of people that would consider themselves conservative, just the live and let live position is more progressive than the people that are on fucking TV all the time. Like, I don't get it. Like, what?
I do.
It makes it seem that much more purposeful, like, in terms of driving insanity.
It's because it's capitalism, because it's money, because people that I totally believe that people given the chance, because it's just shown over and over again, like I think we talked about it, like that people are kind to each other, that we help each other out, like that we do that, and given the choice, like when and information, and like especially when it's family, like we're willing to work and open our mind for the people that we love and we care about, because it's relatable to us, because it's a part of our life, and because we can see them for more than just stereotypes. We see them for real people. And that's what othering does. Like, and like objectifying people, like what Ben Shapiro does to these groups of people to, make them like talk about trans people like as this monolith, as this group, as an object that you can talk about in a way that's not real people, but it is real people, obviously. And the reason Ben Shapiro does it and doesn't fucking care is because he doesn't ever have to interact with any of this, because he's not a real person, because he's too rich and like out of touch. Like he doesn't have any real connections. Like this guy that you're talking about has a real connection with real family and like lives in the real world, and that's why he's able to be more open-minded than this educated fucking elitist. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, it's interesting how much like your need for this narrative to work, like so you can make money and whatever Ben Shapiro's guiding principle is. I don't know whatever he believes in, like how much it makes you incapable of changing your mind or seeing people as people, because then that defeats your whole argument, and then you can't make money off of it because of why they're trying to hate trans people. I don't know. That just comes with like Christianity and homophobia, I think. But
yeah, I was gonna say Ben Shapiro, even before being, an elitist rich man, was a total religious fundamentalist. I mean, and still is
conservative.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's like, I don't understand why. I mean, I guess if money's the only reason that these issues just go and go, because media itself is so profitable.
Yeah.
And because there's this back and forth on media being able to stoke the flames of things that create more media, and then they get to keep making their money, whether purposeful or not, insidious like some are, or
malicious or not,
stupid like others are. But it's like no one's ever like taking a step back and just looking and being like, we should just keep progressing. Like we're all like, are we all getting kinder? I don't know. Are we all getting more open-minded, or are we the same as a society? And then those things that seem to restrict our ability to move forward and be supportive and communal and all these things are slowly being taken away. It's like you look at 100 years, from Jim Crow to the Civil Rights Act, where even at that point Martin Luther King is like the most hated man in America, to now, and it's like, are things worse? Are they overall better? Are people better? I don't know.
Well, it's like material conditions, sure, technological advancements and stuff, but yeah, like societal evolution, I think we're definitely better off. Like people are more accepting of like well, the idea of more like as a society broadly, like the idea of like patriarchy as an oppressive structure has become a lot more mainstream, and like systemic racism is now being openly talked about, even in an unhelpful way at some of these media, all the media stuff. It's like at least it's like out there as like a basis foundation for people all existing in the same reality, that they've heard the term systemic racism, they've heard the term systemic sexism, they're hearing the term the patriarchy in a way more serious way, and it's not just these extreme leftist like crazy feminazis or whatever, you know, saying stuff. Like it's being discussed in a more like serious manner. But to the point of the media making so much of this a problem, it totally is. Like the other day talking about just how saying like someone said it's all propaganda, and I was like, you know what, you're right. Like Fox News is way more hateful for sure and white supremacist, and it's way more dangerous, but CNN, MSNBC, like these huge news, the New York Times, Washington Post, like they are about money. And it changes the way you're going to be able to report on information, the way you're going to disseminate information, what people have access to, when it's like, but it's information. Who could possibly own that? Like, it's a really good way to keep your public stupid. And I was like, and that's why NPR is cool, because it's not a company, like it's not a business. It's publicly funded. So that's why they do better reporting and stuff.
It's all disseminated through individuals that have experienced their own propagandistic, their own propagandistic indoctrination throughout the course of their lives.
We're all biased, of course. But some of them are way worse. I mean, like CNN being like, this is going to be great for us. Trump is going to be great for us. Ratings and all that. And like what they're after, like what their main goal is. And it's like just objectively true by the people they bring on shows. Like all of the normalization of these extreme beliefs, moving the Overton window to the right, moving us more conservative. So yeah, I mean, it is, America's media is propaganda. It should be totally not for profit. I think that seems a way safer, or at least a start to it, because making money off of information? I mean, come on. Don't people deserve that? Don't people deserve to know what's fucking going on without having to experience literally every single thing?
Well, someone has to give them the information. And it's like, if you're talking about the Overton window moving, it is such a... I mean, of course, there are probably thousands of people in America right now who have, like, PhDs that would know how to explain to us or me the relationship between, it's like, okay, so if we're talking about the Overton window moving to the right, it's like, well, is the body politic moving to the right, and that's being reflected and we're learning that, or is the portrayal, and the propagandistic nature of our media going to the right, and so it moves people to the right? Or is it like this symbiotic chicken and the egg type of thing? I don't know.
Roe versus Wade is a perfect example for me of this, of how the
What happened
media,
with that?
Of how it's like never been challenged, and the media has been like very like not what is the word I'm looking for? Like making it a big deal. Whatever, it doesn't matter. No,
they have not been making it a big deal. No, they haven't been very forthcoming with like how insane it is. Like, and then when you hear people that are like really saying like this is legitimate, even me, then if I hear that it's like this is like one of the biggest turning points in 50 years, like this is absolutely stupefying, even to me, I'm like, oh yeah, come on. And then it's like, oh wait, yeah, you think about it, oh yeah, you're probably right. And it's like, oh, why isn't everyone shouting that from the rooftops, whether you're pro-choice or not? It's just like it's a really big deal. It's the fact that Donald fucking Trump is the one who got us there. is insane.
I wasn't even like thinking well, I was obviously about it being overturned, but just even in high school and stuff, it was like, why are we talking about this in presidential debates? Stop fucking asking questions about abortion. It's done. Like, it's constitutional. If we just keep trying to figure out ways in which it's not, instead of just accepting, like, it was always gonna be like this because they kept keeping it a topic, and it's not anything that has even, like, the issue of abortion, well, obviously, duh, that's, like, up to women and their bodies and their choices, but all these other systemic issues that you're ignoring for this one that you have no fucking right to even be asking about, it's so pathetic, like, that. And I remember Dad even being like, well, it's an important issue or whatever, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's like, there's so many other things we could be talking about, like, is at the times we're like at war for decades. We have,
Yeah.
rising inequality. We have housing crashes, and we're talking about fucking abortion, what women do with their bodies? Are you joking me? Like, that's your number one priority? We got people, homeless population, like we have incarcerated populations, blah, 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 blah. It's just like...
And look at that. They made it their priority and they got it done.
Yeah, they sure did. The American way. Oh my God!
Man.
Yeah,
it's because it's a 40-year project for the Republican Party and the Federalist Society and stuff, and they did it. And it's just kind of scary, more and more, instead of frustrating that the Democratic Party can't do anything. Can you imagine the Democratic Party successfully finishing off a 40-year political project? No. Like, not even close.
No.
And it's like, and they're not even, and it's not like, well, because the Republicans, and they're all unified with these big corporate donors. So are the Democrats. They've got the same donors. It's like, and they could they still differ. They still differ on some important issues than the Republicans. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can go on and on about how they're still just a bunch of fucking liberals.
Corporate goons.
And they take corporate money and all that stuff. It's like, sure. But there are differences in the platforms in terms of social issues that they could do something about. And it's like, if you're gonna take corporate money and, half-ass do what the Republicans do, what's the point at all?
Yeah.
Why can't we...
Personal enrichment?
Well, yeah,
Obviously.
but the Republicans do that, and they actually get political projects done. They actually
less of an ego?
Change the entire judicial branch of the United States.
Because they have smaller penises. They have to do something with their lives. I'm sorry. Liberals have bigger dicks. And that's our problem.
Yeah.
It makes us apathetic.
Yeah, they're like, who cares?
I got a big swinging cock over here.
Let me go get some pussy instead of phone banking.
Instead of sitting in the basement with Steve Crowder. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Roe versus Wade? I mean, come on. That was decided 50 years ago. I'm going to go get some pussy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, judging by the liberals that I see on Twitter, that is not what they're like.
No, if only they were.
They're just as much of basement boys as Crowder, except they just don't get anyone riled up. They don't get anything done.
Yeah, I know. It's really pathetic. It's really sad. And, like, we need Comic-Con. We need to come together right now. Over me.
We just need at least someone... it's so infuriating that now it's just going to be too late for Bernie. He's just too old. And he's like still the only person even indirectly related to that party that, has like actually does this kind of Trumpian vibe of, oh, no, he says what he wants. Oh, he tells it like it is. Oh, he doesn't take all this money. And it's like, we have a guy like that, and you guys fucked him over and over again. And it's like just that, I don't know if you watched that clip that I sent you, but I mean, it's going around of him complaining about Joe
Oh yeah,
Manchin.
I watched it.
It's like,
and he's like,
why
"Oh
aren't-"
boy, oh yeah, yeah." He's all sarcastic.
He's
It's
like,
awesome.
I told you 6 months ago. This guy, and it's like, why aren't all of you guys like that? Joe Manchin's just one guy, right? He doesn't actually run the party, right? Like, why
We voted for Joe
you
Biden,
guys-
not Joe Manchin.
Yeah,
Sort
like,
of.
why don't you put your nuts on the table and
For
whip
sure.
people into shape? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, at the very least, Joe Manchin, it's like, what are you afraid of? Like, are you afraid of Joe Manchin becoming a Republican? No, he's not going to do that. Are you afraid of him just continuing to vote no? Remove all of his committee appointments, or at least tell him if you don't fall in line right now, all of your committee appointments are gone. You're going to have nothing, man. And you know what? You're going to be sitting there phone banking and calling inner cities for money for the DCCC
You know
and
what?
not
Because-
talking to your big donors unless you actually come to the table in good faith, because you're holding up the entire country. Like,
Exactly. Because, like, legitimately, talking about, like, the difference between Ben Shapiro and that guy that you met and all this, like, all the things that he's stopping from happening, the statistics and about, like, what's going to happen and how it's going to affect people and blah, 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 blah. Every single one of those statistics are people in people's lives that actually, it fucking matters what happens, what Joe Manchin does and doesn't do. The reason, like, what's happened now, like with Roe versus Wade being overturned because the Democrats don't have a spine among them to do fucking anything. Read the story about a woman who, she's had a miscarriage before, and there's a procedure they do afterwards. Before Roe versus Wade was overturned, there's a procedure they do to remove tissue and stuff after your pregnancy has been terminated.
The Hoover technique.
Yeah, it just, suck it in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like a whole, and it's really, she said she woke up after the thing and she was laying in bed and the nurses had left her a bracelet with, like, pink and blue. Like, this was a wanted pregnancy that she lost. And it was a horrible, it's awful, just really, 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 really sad. But there was so much compassion and kindness for her there. But after, this has just happened after Roe versus Wade has been overturned, and it was clear that she was having a miscarriage, and they didn't do this procedure on her. They sent her home, told her to come back only if she filled a diaper full of blood more than once an hour. And she was at home.
God.
She talked about sitting in the bathtub and her husband, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry, like, coming in and they're just, like, crying together, like, over the loss of their baby. No compassion from these doctors, because there's all this confusion about what kind of care they can provide to women, and
They're literally worried that they could go to
effects.
jail.
Yeah, worried they can go to jail for providing this woman with a medical procedure, and so she has to sit at home in her bathtub crying and bleeding with her husband, mourning the loss of a pregnancy. And that's the kind of compassion you can expect from the Republican Party. They don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, it's so sad that what their action or inaction, and the Democrats too, fuck them. That's on them too. This woman having to go through this awful, horrible experience, having to tie the doctor's hands like this. Fuck these. Like, fuck our government. They are not working for us. They're letting us totally suffer completely unnecessarily. Just for what? Money, I guess.
No, it's just that, on the abortion issue, I don't know. Like, it's just
don't know
to
either.
consolidate power, political power, because that's all it is. It's funny how one of the ongoing and, like, weirdly commonly accepted myths leading up to that from the liberal side was, well, they'd never really actually overturn Roe versus Wade because then they wouldn't have a political wedge issue to deal with. I saw that all the time in, like, the last 10 years.
Yeah, like guns or, like, healthcare.
Yeah, where they're just like, well, if they repeal it, then there's
like,
nothing else to do. They don't get that debate point anymore. And it's like, well, they did it. I mean, they kept saying they wanted to do it. And I wonder, it's like we talk about the GOP just, like, of course, hates people. Like they love,
especially
they
women.
love their corporations. They just hate people in general. And whether it's, I mean, people who side with that, you know, anti-choice activists and just frothing at the mouth Christian fundamentalists and these supporters on that issue, it's like, do we even try to keep convincing these people that the GOP hates them too, or do we just lump them in and say, you're a shitty person? Like, don't even try anymore. It's like you stand with on these policies that we say the GOP are bad for. Like, at least on that issue, like, you're a bad person. Like, I'm sorry, whatever conditions led you to this point, whatever kind of education or lack thereof, or just complete isolation from society at large you've gone through to get to this point where you have zero empathy for your fellow human beings and you have the completely incorrect, just non-factual idea of what pregnancy is and medical procedures and stuff like that. You know, it's too late. All right, it's happening right now. People are being hurt. 10-year-old girls almost didn't get an abortion for being after being raped. Like, and it's like, raped. and you haven't changed your mind. Like, I gave you enough time. You got like 2 weeks of these stories. If you haven't changed your mind, you're a piece of shit. All right, and I don't want your vote. I don't give a crap. You're part
Society
of the GOP too.
Past you.
Even when it's like, well, don't blame the voters, blame the party. It's like, I'm done with that. Like, you people are garbage. Like, and you know what? And I still want you to have everything that I want everyone to have. But I don't...
Because you'll change your mind if you do, honestly.
Yeah, because
swear.
obviously the only way that you'll go along with something is if it personally affects you directly. But it's just like... It's like, I still want you to have universal health care, but in terms of just the political arena, just the discussion about legislating, about anything that affects other people, like, I don't care about your opinion. It's not about two different sides and it's like, oh, people have different opinions. Okay, your opinion's garbage. Like, your opinion
is that the sky's not blue. It's like, that's not an opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have a flat earther's opinion on abortion, pretty much. It's just like, if there's no consideration for other human beings in your like idea of what the government should be doing, then you're already arguing something that's outside of this discussion. You know, what we want the government to do, what we want the state to do with our lives and our property and with laws and their enforcement of said laws has everything to do with how it affects people at large. Other people. You know?
Yeah,
individualist, weird, narcissistic, Christian individualist, entitled shit. Like, it honestly, it's already existing outside of this discussion. Like, it's like, oh, like, your view is that the government shouldn't do anything, or that everything should be exactly how you and only you see the world. Well, it's you're already on a different page, bro. Sorry.
You're in a different reality.
That's not, well, it's like, that's just not what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, the United States of America. I'm not talking about you in your house. I don't give a fuck that you read the Bible or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter to me anymore. So anyway, that's the comedy segment of the podcast.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. People can change, though. I'm worried that baby thinks that people can't change. But I used to be a piece of shit. And you call that slick back? That's pushed back.
Pushed back. We used to get some sloppy steaks. Ew.
White Corvette.
I just tried scrolling through Twitter just to see if there was something to veer a conversation. Oh my god.
Titties.
And it's like, oh, no. And it's just like there's too much stuff about the Seahawks and the Mariners. And then someone else tweeted, I left my Invisalign retainer in the break room at work, and when I came back, my coworker was trying it on. That's weird. I don't know where to go with that conversation. And then I scrolled down, and in all caps, someone tweeted, my rapist got shot. Wow. I don't know if they're celebrating or what. I mean, probably.
Yeah, or on the run. Which...
Did you see?
Wow.
Did you see the pictures of Elon Musk out on vacation? They're going around. That has to be what this tweet is about. You can have... Oh, that's Vodka Booty tweeting that. You can have billions of dollars and still have skin like raw chickens. Shake my head. What's the point? He looked like... You think that Mark Zuckerberg looked like a ghost when he had all that zinc on his face? Like, that's like Musk's whole body. He has like a dad bod, like in a bad way, and is just... I thought that I didn't look good with my shirt on. Whew, boy.
You look great.
At least I look better than the richest man on earth. So
the richest man, like, in the history of the world.
yeah, so there's that. I've got that going for me. I can finally...
Which is way better than being rich.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we're in Discord right now. I can share something with you, or you could just look it up.
Yeah.
But,
I don't want to.
Yeah, you'll look it up afterwards. I'm sure the thousands of people that listen to this will have already seen it by then. But let's see, fake electors. So what else is going on? So what was your? You said there was funk music at the festival.
Yeah, this festival. It was really, really, really cool. It was like a really beautiful space. It was started by this guy, Hippie Henley. And it was, like, very hippie, like, this property that he owns, and, and he has only, like, local bands in the area come and play for, like, we were there Thursday through Sunday, and, like, there's bands playing all the time, you camp there, and there's all these cool wood carvings all around, this guy I mean, it was just, it's hard to even describe, it's, like, a pretty magical place where... And so the guy who founded it, he just recently passed away, and his son, this was the first time he had run it without him. And, like, they even did a ceremony, like, ashes into the river. It's right on the river, and it was, like, it was, like, wow, it's really inspiring me and just reaffirming my belief in communism, actually. Just, like, how people working together.
Because they started a festival by polluting a waterway? Oh, my God. It's like just down the river from that. There's the same guy that I rented to. His son was down there, like, you know, he's like, yeah, that's right. Shitter was full, you know, just dumping it all out downstream.
No, it was a really beautiful experience. It's been going on for a long time. Some people have been there like 15 years in a row, and like just sharing music and allowing people to be just. I mean, it was really cool. Like, the music, that funk band, I was up front the whole time, like, dancing oh yeah, it was awesome. I mean, yeah, it was, I was like, no one could believe it was my first festival. I fit right in, felt really good.
Like, all asking you for advice.
Yeah. Like, I've never been here before. I've never been to a festival. I've barely been to any concerts.
You're like, why is everyone tapping on my shoulder asking where to get magic mushrooms?
I have a seashell headdress with these glasses, these reflective glasses, no shirt, and a lit up hula hoop with these flower pants. And like, some guy was like, you looked so amazing, like a goddess, like so cool. Just walking around and feeling really comfortable too and safe, and like everyone was super cool and just so much fun music. You would have really enjoyed just being around like all these. I met this, oh my god, Brittany Danielle. I want to go see her show on Thursday at the Central. She is so fucking hot. She's redhead and she has curves like she's like, oh my god.
She has like a porn star name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's really cool too, and like, I was like, I can't believe people like you exist. Like, you're so cool and talented.
She's a musician,
she has a band. She's a singer, and Like a lot of so many musicians.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking hippies playing the kazoo in the woods. Yeah,
but
real cool.
That funk band, you would have really fucking liked it. The bass player, he was so fun to watch. Yeah, and like the drummer just like throwing drumsticks in the air and catching them, and like the lead singer looking all James Brown, and it was super fun. Yeah, I mean it was all right. I mean if you like having fun, I guess.
That's why I wasn't there. But I try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah,
like,
good lighthearted. A lot of mushrooms and weed also. It was cool. So, it's a good time.
Yeah.
No drinking, though. No alcohol. And, oh, my God, I can say for 1,000% sure. No, there's other people who have alcohol. I just didn't have alcohol.
Oh, no, for you. I was like, interesting no. Festival.
No. There is alcohol there, but I'm so incredibly glad I don't drink anymore. It would be way different. That my experience would have it wouldn't have been enhanced, it would have been way, way worse. I mean, like, I would have been hungover, would have been probably gotten into a fight or like an argument, that, like Kelsey and me or whatever. But instead, it was absolute perfection. Our campsite was so cute. Like, we had a hammock, we had our tent, everything was perfect. It was really nice. And then when I came back, Marcel, my kitten, was like... like screaming at me to pet him. It was awesome. Oops.
Oh my God.
I felt very loved.
Yeah. That's why.
And I made a friend.
That's why there are, ladies like you that have a cat to feel loved. They call them
a witch.
Call them feline girls. Oh, cat ladies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a witch. He's my little familiar. We're going on a float on August 7th if you want to come along. So, it's a Sunday.
No. But I am leaving the next week with Sophia to go to Las Vegas. So, we'll have to see. I need to figure out these last weeks of summer how I can fit as much stuff in as possible. And that's what she said.
That's what she said. Do I look bald right now?
Yeah, everyone on the podcast listening to the podcast was thinking that. They put it in their earbuds. They're like, does she looks bald right now?
Sounds like smooth head. You got a smooth head over there? Huh?
Hey, smooth head. That's what you call people instead of cue ball.
Smooth-headed freak. Yeah. Really rolls off the tongue.
So, let's see, festival. What else is going on? Balding men who use Rogaine are actually undergoing gender-affirming treatment.
Oh, that's true. Sean Hannity. You know who I can't stand? Tucker Carlson. Wow. He is just... He got a haircut. Did you notice that?
Oh, is he a smooth head now?
That would be a bit on the nose
old
for him.
Head,
his skinhead ways.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he has skin. Is. I think he's more just like a... He's just like this pasted together, series of bladders and sacks that hold just like gasoline and shaving cream and dog semen.
Whistles. Yeah, dog whistles.
Yeah. No, just dog semen and whistles. It's like it has nothing to do with his actual political. He's just a really disgusting piece of garbage.
The worst. Yeah, annoying. I hate him, and I think he's also dumb and stupid. So there's so that's my political insight. That's my contribution.
Yeah. That's what we'll say at the end of the show here. Tucker Carlson, suck my dick, idiot. And then I'll play the little drop.
You know what I love? When Hassan says, suck my dick from behind. They can suck my dick from the back.
No, suck me from the back.
Suck me from the back, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
But also it's like, man, that is visceral. Like, jeez.
That is...
It's such a lean...
Paints a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a lean, like, phrase that just, like, like, why'd you make me think of that? Like, or, like, how did you make me think of that so quickly?
And now I can't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on where you're coming from, but it's like, that's what he said. Or she, I guess.
She said, oh, yeah.
Depends on where you're coming from.
They...
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
he's all thirst trapping also with his Instagrams. Ugh. I thought about him too, because he says how live music isn't as good as studio music, and I'm like, you're dumb and wrong. I don't want to show you that you're wrong.
Audio quality,
well, it's better,
I agree.
But that's different though. Like vibe, there is nothing like live music because
yeah, if you're
it's
playing
like a drug.
it.
No, if you're receiving that funk band, it was like...
No, I'm an elitist who plays music. I'm like, nothing's like actually being on stage.
Performing!
Because I am a musician! So I was thinking, what if I made myself, instead of us just having these awkward conversations full of nothing and... just bullshit, inane blather, but also I made myself write a beat to softly play in the background throughout the entire episode every week, and I have to come up with something new every time.
All right, and we'll be like, what is it? What is it this week?
No,
what
don't even say anything about it.
That's all I'm going to talk about every week.
Yeah, no, that's all the listeners will talk about. Ooh, what did he do this week? Oh, it's the same kind of chill hop nonsense? That's cool.
Yeah, like that's what they're here for.
They
just like try to ignore the conversation over the top of the music.
Yeah, I'm going to just slowly, every time you start talking, I just slowly turn it up. Oh, my alarm is going off. So...
For what?
I've got things,
an hour?
I have things to do. No, actually, it's been just over an hour, but except we're gonna cut a bunch of stuff out of the beginning of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, after we cut out the whole beginning part talking about I don't know, audio quality probably. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Well, this has been Inane Blather with
Excuse me. Your mom,
Chuck Galangione, and
ooh,
you're supposed to come up with something too.
Ooh, and
and Natalie
Dead Tansen.
Natalie, improv would be so easy. Morgan.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's my name for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm the improv queen.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So we almost improv'd the same thing.
Oof. How embarrassing for you.
Okay, well, we'll get more improvisational as we go along. I mean, I think I do pretty well, but you know, you could improve too.
No, I can't. Not because I'm like so good, but it's because I'm not capable of growth.
Don't worry, I can't possibly get any better. Like, really? I mean, you're not very good. No, I mean, I'm incapable.
I know. Yeah.
Of improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, time for some improve the improv and try to.
What? Yeah. Give me a topic and I'll improve my improv.
Okay. Energy drinks that smell like gasoline.
Wow, it's so hard.
I know, so I come up with some like crazy specific thing.
Wait, so, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, like
you're in the doctor's office.
How about Supreme Energy or something like that? Or unleaded.
Premium.
Pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. No, there's nothing there.
More like
forget it. Yeah. Premium?
More like red.
Premium.
More like red bullshit. More like
Oof.
red horse power. More, okay.
I think I was closer.
Oh, I mean, I sincerely disagree.
And that's not good. I think we can both agree.
Yeah. Well, once again, shout out to R.M. Brown. We love him. He is
supplying
our
us.
Lord and Savior. And
He is. Even though he makes me fill my pipes with...
and this episode has been brought to you by our Patreon. We're bringing lots of money. Just go to patreon.com/Chapo Trap House. You'll see how well we've been doing. Our voices have changed a little bit, but you know, we've had some good takes and some bad takes. But yeah, we've been drinking. We've been drinking a bunch of energy drinks that smell like gasoline.
Gasoline?
And I'm pretty sure it's just gasoline that someone put in a old Bang energy can. At least that's it burns a little bit on the way down. It feels great coming back up.
But my second one was better than my first one.
Yeah.
So I had a couple.
Yeah,
You know.
a couple pints.
Just to be sure.
Okay. I'm gonna get...
Bye. It's done.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you too. We weren't talking to each other.
Sorry, I'm on the phone. What?
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Okay, bye.